Stick with me. We may get through this thing okay. Come on. It's a temple of the Forbidden Eye. We could be in for untold riches. But whatever you do, don't look into the Eye of Mara. Could be very unhealthy. Now come on, let's make tracks. Okay, now remember, never look into the Eye of Mara. Never. Uh-oh.
We are going to die!
Hello and welcome to Theme Park History, the channel for everything to do with theme parks, old and new, big and small. In today's episode, we put on our fedora and grab our whip as we explore the legend of the Indiana Jones Adventure, a motion simulator dark ride attraction that opened at Disneyland on March 4th, 1995, and Tokyo DisneySea on September 4th, 2001. This attraction was suggested by all these tourists, so thank you to everyone for the comments. As always, if there's an attraction you would like us to cover in future videos, leave a comment down below. You never know, your suggestion might be next month's video. Inspired by the Indiana Jones film series, the Indiana Jones Adventure is one of the most exciting, heart-racing, technologically advanced theme park attractions ever created. With non-stop action from beginning to end, along with the first-of-its-kind ride vehicle and amazing visual effects, the attraction is considered by many to be the pinnacle of Disney Imagineering. Even though it's been in operation for over 20 years, the Indiana Jones Adventure is still not only one of the most popular attractions at both of the parks, but also one of the most influential as well. Since the passing of founder Walt Disney in 1966, the Walt Disney Company struggled through the 1970s and early 1980s overall to stay financially stable. Because of Walt Disney Productions struggling to release films that were box office hits, the company was relying on their parks, which were generating 70% of Disney's total income. After surviving multiple hostile takeovers, the company's largest shareholder, Sid Bass, and the board brought in Michael Eisner from Paramount Pictures as the new CEO and chairman of the board in 1984. Eisner would be brought in with the hopes that he could help turn the company around and overcome the nearly 2 decades of stagnation since Walt's passing. Under Eisner's leadership, Disney would be revitalized in the second half of the 1980s and early 1990s. After 18 years of box office duds and abandoned animation, Walt Disney Productions would see a resurgence with box office hits as Who Framed Roger Rabbit in 1988 and The Little Mermaid in 1989. Leading to a revitalization in the company's flagship animation studio. The focus wouldn't just be on Disney movies, as Eisner also focused on the company's theme parks. With both Disneyland and Magic Kingdom aging, and only smaller, cheaper attractions being added to the parks throughout the 1970s, Eisner's plan was to update the parks with attractions that featured stories and characters from popular movies of the time that guests were fans of. The attractions would be thrilling, engaging rides that would draw both thrill seekers and teenagers to the parks. In order to achieve his vision, Eisner turned to one of the most acclaimed filmmakers at the time, George Lucas. Responsible for the film franchise Star Wars, Lucas already had a working relationship with Eisner when he was still at Paramount, greenlighting Lucas's first film after Star Wars, Raiders of the Lost Ark. An agreement between Disney and Lucasfilm would lead to the creation of attractions based off of Lucas's films, including Star Tours and the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, along with Captain EO, which was an original story written and produced by Lucas. All 3 attractions were huge hits, helping kickstart Eisner declaring the 1990s the Disney decade, with the plan for the decade featuring an unprecedented expansion of the company's theme parks with new attractions, shows, and even brand new theme parks. After the success of the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular at Disney MGM Studios that opened in 1989, Lucas and Disney would once again collaborate, this time to bring Dr. Jones to Disneyland. The original concept, known as Indiana Jones and the Lost Expedition, would have seen most of the area within Adventureland be repurposed to fit the Indiana Jones theme. The area would see both the Jungle Cruise and Disney Railroad Railroad incorporated into the new land, along with 2 new attractions, a minecart-style roller coaster inspired by Temple of Doom, and a dark ride through a cursed temple. The Lost Expedition concept would be dropped due to budget cuts across the entire company after the disastrous grand opening of Disneyland Paris. While Adventureland would no longer be dedicated to Indy, the dark ride attraction was still greenlit for Disneyland. Construction on the attraction began in August 1993, with a team led by Tony Baxter and over 400 Imagineers working on its design and construction. In order to accommodate the space needed for the 50,000 square foot show building, an area of the Eeyore parking lot was demolished. Because of how far the show building was from the rest of the park, a half-mile queue was created with a tunnel that would lead guests along the edge of the Jungle Cruise, under the Disneyland Railroad, and into the new show building. For the attraction, Disney Imagineers wanted to create a new and never-before-seen ride system. The Imagineers would come up with the Enhanced Motor Vehicle, or EMV for short. The EMV is a modified motion simulator base that is mounted on a wheeled chassis. As the vehicle travels through the attraction, the motion base simulates movement, such as driving over a rough terrain or leaning through a turn, which makes the ride experience appear more realistic. Each EMV travels at a max speed of 14 miles per hour on top of a slotted roadbed. The EMV's body is attached by 3 hydraulic rams to the frame of the chassis, which allows the shell to pitch, buck, and twist. Each of the 17 EMVs used for the attraction are programmed with their own personality, meaning no 2 rides on the attraction would be exactly the same, something never seen before at a theme park. While in the Chamber of Destiny, although it appears there are 3 doors, it was actually built with only 1. To achieve the effect, the walls and ceiling of the chamber were designed to rotate across the working doorway along with a set of facades on each side of the real doorway. This way there are 3 doors always visible at any given time. This effect was deactivated in 2015 and replaced with projectors hidden on each side of the chamber, which shuffle through various video effects that are superimposed on the 3 doors to create the illusion that the vehicle is entering through a specific door. For the finale of the attraction, Tony Baxter came up with the idea after going through a self-drive car wash. The EMV never moves in the finale. Instead, the tunnel itself moves away from the vehicle and toward the advancing boulder. Paired with the motion of the EMV, the moving walls give the impression that the vehicle is backing up, trying to escape the boulder. As soon as the vehicle moves into the next scene, the tunnel slides back into its starting position, resetting for the next vehicle. The Indiana Jones Adventure would premiere on March 3rd, 1995, with Eisner and other celebrities on hand to experience the new attraction. The attraction would officially open to the public 1 day later on March 4th, 1995. The attraction would be the first new attraction in Adventureland since the Enchanted Tiki Room opened in 1963. While Disney has never revealed exactly how much the attraction cost, reports suggest it was over $100 million.
Now dare to cross forbidden boundaries to the ultimate adventure. Come on! It's more than a ride. It's real. Now your fears have a name. The Indiana Jones Adventure, new at Disneyland.
Located within Adventureland, the attraction's story places guests in 1935 India. Indiana Jones has found missing pieces of a map that reveals the precise location of an ancient temple. Known as the Temple of the Forbidden Eye, the temple contains countless intriguing artifacts from over 2,000 years ago, undergoing excavation by Jones for archaeological research. The temple god, known as Mara, who is voiced by James Earl Jones, offers anyone who enters the temple one of 3 gifts: earthly riches, eternal youth, or visions of the future, on one condition: never to gaze into the eyes of Mara. Due to the excavation running out of money, Jones and his close friend Sala begin to offer tours of the temple to raise funds to start up the excavation once again. During their tours, many of the tourists go missing, with Jones venturing inside the temple to go find them. After a week of of Jones not returning, Marcus Brody, another close friend of Jones, asks Sala to restart conducting the tours into the temple in the hope they might be able to find Jones and the other tourists. As guests make their way through the queue, they pass by many props and interactive features. Some of these include the Mercedes-Benz transport truck from Raiders of the Lost Ark, spikes descending towards guests if a large support pole is pushed, and passing by a crate marked with the number 9906753, referencing the number on the crate that holds the Ark of the Covenant from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Guests eventually make their way to the loading area where they board their 12-passenger transport vehicle. Once guests have entered the vehicle, they enter the Chamber of Destiny, which presents the guests with 3 doors, each representing a gift offered by Mara. One of the 3 doors begin to glow brighter than the other 2, with Mara announcing which gift the passengers have chosen to receive. The door opens and the vehicle enters the Hall of Promise. If the Fountain of Eternal Youth is chosen, the Hall of Promise is illuminated in blue light, with Mara saying, "You have chosen wisely. This path leads to endless youth and beauty." If the Chamber of Earthly Riches is chosen, the Hall of Promise is illuminated in gold light, with Mara saying, "You seek the treasure of Mara. Gold and glitter, it is yours." If the Observatory of the Future is chosen, the Hall of Promise turns into a star field, with Mara saying, "You seek the future. I will lift the curtain of time. It is your destiny." As guests make their way through the Hall of Promise, the idol of Mara suddenly appears to scowl, as someone on board has looked into the eyes, breaking the one condition Mara had stated. Mara says, "You have looked into my eyes. Your path now leads to the Gates of Doom." The vehicle makes a sharp left turn and towards the Gates of Doom. However, Indiana Jones is able to keep the doors closed long enough for the vehicle to escape and tells the guests to head further into the temple, as it's their only way out. The vehicle enters a massive chamber that is lit from below by a pool of boiling lava. Another vehicle can be seen attempting to cross a rope bridge which spans over the pit. On the other side of the chamber, there is a looming 45-foot tall stone face of Mara which contains the Forbidden Eye. The angry god uses the eye to shoot green rays of light at both vehicles, causing flames to erupt from wherever the beam hits. The vehicle makes a left turn and heads into the catacombs of False Pathway that is lined with skeletons, some that even lunge out towards the guests. As the vehicle makes its way out of the catacombs, the headlights go out, leaving guests traveling through the chamber in the pitch dark. When the headlights come back on, the walls around the vehicle are covered in beetles, which try to latch on to the guests, who are blasted with small puffs of air to simulate the effect. The vehicle is able to escape and travels across the same rope bridge from earlier. The vehicle is forced to stop on the rope bridge due to another oncoming vehicle, the one guests saw when they first entered the chamber, about to cross the bridge, which is able to turn away just before reaching it. With their path now clear, the vehicle accelerates across the bridge. The massive stone face of Mara shoots beams from its eye, attempting to destroy the bridge and send the vehicle into the pool of lava below. The vehicle is able to make it safely across and turns right into the next room. In the next room, hundreds of snakes cover the walls, and a large cobra appears on the right side of the vehicle, which attempts to strike the guests. The vehicle escapes and attempts to head back over the rope bridge, only to have to divert and turn right due to another vehicle that is now on the bridge. The vehicle travels behind the massive stone face of Mara and crosses a wooden bridge into a room full of skulls. The guests come face to face with the ghost of Mara, who roars at them from above. Guests are able to avoid the ghost and escape into a pitch-black tunnel. The vehicle passes by a hanging tree root, which has many rats climbing across it, with a few falling off the root and into the vehicle. The vehicle passes through a tunnel covered with paintings of spear-wielding skeleton warriors on the walls. As the vehicle passes over trigger stones on the floor in the tunnel, it triggers traps that shoot darts at the guests. Blasts of air hit the guests and darts are heard striking the vehicle as it passes safely through the tunnel. The vehicle then enters a dark area and comes to a complete stop. Suddenly, Indiana Jones appears above the guests, hanging onto a rope in a shaft of light. Jones is happy to see the guests and tells them to turn on the vehicle's headlights so he can come aboard and help guide the guests out of the temple. As the headlights come on, they reveal a massive boulder rolling towards the vehicle. The vehicle begins to back up as the boulder threatens to crush both Jones and the guests. At the last possible second, the vehicle accelerates forward, with the floor suddenly giving away, sending the vehicle into the chamber below. The vehicle travels through the chamber to find Jones standing in front of the boulder, which had also fell and is cracked from the impact. An exhausted Jones wipes his forehead and leaves the guest with one of 7 different quips. The vehicle makes its way back to the loading station, where guests unload from the vehicle and exit the attraction. The 3-minute, 25-second attraction was an immediate mega hit with guests when it opened, as the attraction's story, ride system, and special effects were praised. The attraction was unlike anything seen before at a Disney park, as it made guests become part of the story and involving them in a stunning and exciting adventure from beginning to end. With the success of the Disneyland attraction and a new ride system at their disposal, Disney would bring the new standard for theme park entertainment in 1998 to their brand new park, Disney's Animal Kingdom. As we've mentioned in our Countdown to Extinction video, the dark ride attraction would not only utilize the same ride system as the Indiana Jones Adventure, but have the same identical track layout as well. In a bit of irony, there have been rumors since 2017 of the dinosaur attraction being reskinned to become another Indiana Jones adventure. Disney would bring a proper clone of the attraction in 2001 to another brand new park, Tokyo DisneySea. Known as the Indiana Jones Adventure, Temple of the Crystal Skull, the attraction is almost identical to the one at Disneyland, but with a few changes to both the story and the ride vehicles. Instead of being set in India in 1935, the story now takes place in Mexico during the 1930s, with Jones now searching for the Fountain of Youth in an Aztec temple that is guarded by a crystal skull. No, come on, put the real crystal skull on, let's not bring back bad memories for some people. The 3 doors at the beginning of the Disneyland version are replaced with just 1, and the ride vehicles use linear inductive actuators instead of 3 hydraulic arms due to Japan's strict environmental codes regarding oil spills. Besides being a massive success due to its groundbreaking ride system, the attraction would usher in a new era of theme park rides at Disney parks. Unlike many classic Disney attractions in which guests were just a bystander as the story played out, the Indiana Jones Adventure would make guests part of the story, as they were involved in what was taking place throughout the entire attraction. The Indiana Jones Adventure would be one of many attractions built during the Disney decade that would create an immersive and engaging story for guests to experience, which has now become the standard for any major attraction that opens today. The Indiana Jones Adventure is a cornerstone of Disneyland and Tokyo DisneySea. Even after 25 years, the attraction is still one of the most impressive, exciting, and immersive experiences ever created by Disney. Whether it's the Forbidden Eye or the Crystal Skull, guests join Dr. Jones in an unforgettable adventure where they tempt fate to discover treasures of fortune and glory. Still one of the most popular attractions at both parks, it doesn't seem like the Indiana Jones Adventure will be heading to a museum anytime soon. So that is a theme park history of the Indiana Jones Adventure. As always, thank you for watching the video and supporting the channel. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. If there's any attraction you want us to cover in a future video, leave a comment down below. Once again, thank you for watching, and until next time, you have chosen wisely.
Ever feel like you've forgotten something?
Fuel?
Maybe it's because you haven't been to McDonald's yet for your own original Indiana Jones videos. Just $5.99 each with the purchase of any large sandwich all day long. Drop into McDonald's today and get an indie video for just $5.99 each. The best price ever with the purchase of any large sandwich any time of day. Collect all 3. Just stop by McDonald's and ask for today's video.
That wasn't so bad, was it?
If you don't hurry, it could be.